Polynomials, applications to geometry. Okay, just as a reminder, you probably have already learned how to add polynomials. This would be where you combine like terms. I like to say same with same. So 2x plus 5x, and then plus 3 minus 9 in this case would be, for example, 7x minus 6. That's an example of adding polynomials. Here we will do an example just to remind ourselves of multiplying polynomials. Multiplying is a little bit more tricky. You have to do each term by each term. Sometimes we call it FOIL, so we would multiply the first terms, 3x by 4x. Then we would multiply the outside terms, that's the O in FOIL. The outside terms, that would be 3x times minus 5. Then we would multiply the inside terms, 2 times 4x. And then we would multiply the last terms, that would be 2 times minus 5. So let's just quickly simplify this final answer. That's 12x squared minus 15x plus 8x minus 10. Now usually when you do this FOIL method, the middle terms will combine as like terms, so this final answer would be 12x squared minus 7x minus 10. That should be review. Now, another thing we want to review is the difference between perimeter and area in geometry. Let me just draw a shape to help us with this idea. Imagine you have a rectangle and you want to know the perimeter. The perimeter is the distance around the shape. So I like to draw a little person and imagine he is walking around a shape. Maybe this shape is the track in a field, or maybe it's a room, or maybe we want to put a fence around something. The perimeter would be the distance around. And the easiest way to remember how to calculate perimeter is to add all sides. Now let's talk about area on the other hand. So imagine we have some square or rectangle shape again. And let's say it's a room and we want to put carpet in the room. Or it's a field and we want to cover the field in grass. It's talking about the covering of the shape. Cover the shape. Okay? Now, different shapes will have different formulas for areas. But often, if we do rectangles or squares, we would just say it's the base times the height. Sometimes we say length times width, base times height. It's the same thing. Well, let's look at some specific examples where we're combining the idea of polynomials with geometry problems. So this first example asks for area. Remember, area means covering the shape. And we have for the sides expressions. So we can call this one the base, this one the height. It doesn't actually matter since we're multiplying, and you can multiply in any order. But remember, the area of a rectangle is just base times height. So in this case, we'll replace those expressions and say it's 7x plus 10 times 4x plus 8. So then we can FOIL to simplify. So we'll do the first terms, and 7x times 4x is 28x squared. Then we'll do the outside terms. 7x times 8 is 56x. Then we can do the inside terms. 10 times 4x is 40x. And then we can do the last term, which is 10 times 8, which is 80. Now usually when we FOIL, when we multiply binomials, the middle term, the middle two terms, will combine as like terms. So we can say the final answer, in this case 28x squared plus 56x plus 40x is 96x plus 80. So this would be the final expression to represent the area of this rectangle. Let's look at the next example. The next example is a triangle, and they're asking for perimeter. Perimeter, if you remember, we don't need fancy formulas when we have straight lines. It just means add up all the sides. So there's a person, and he's walking around the shape, and we want to know how far he walked. So in this case, the perimeter would be x plus 3 plus 2x minus 5. Okay, so this we just combine like terms. We'll add all the x's. So that's 1x plus 1x plus 2x. 1x plus 1x plus 2x is 4x. And then we will add all the just numbers. 3 minus 5 is minus 2. So in this case, the expression for perimeter would be 4x minus 2. Let's do, I think, 2 more examples. So hopefully it becomes easier and easier. Look at this one. This one is talking about area. And if we remember, area is base times height. Now again, it doesn't really matter which one you label as base and which one you label as height, because we're just multiplying them anyway. 2x plus 3, in this case, times x plus 1. Again, we like to simplify using FOIL. The first term times the first term, 2x times x is 2x squared. The first, or the outside terms, so 2x times 1 is just 2x. Now the inside terms, 3 times x is 3x. Now the last terms, 3 times 1 is just 3. Now usually we can combine the middle terms. So that's 2x squared in this case plus 5x plus 3. So that would be an expression for the area of this rectangle. Now let's try the next one. The next one is saying perimeter. Perimeter, if you remember, is add all sides. Now be careful here. Only 2 of the sides are labeled, but this guy is going to walk around all the sides. So just remember, if it's a certain label on the bottom, this is a rectangle, so it will be the same label on the top. 3x minus 2 on top, 2x plus 1 on the left side. So the perimeter in this case would be add all the sides. 2x plus 1 plus 3x minus 2 plus another 2x plus 1 plus another 3x minus 2. And now we combine like terms, same with same. We'll add all the x's together. 2x plus 3x plus 2x plus 3x is 10x. 1 minus 2, 1 minus 2. That's going to be 1 minus 2 is minus 1, plus 1 is 0, minus 2. And there's an expression for the perimeter, the distance around this rectangle.